Guys, I will be dictating two passages every day, one general and one legal. So subscribe to my channel for latest updates. 5 seconds. This is a petition under section 482 CRPC for quashing of FIR number 79 dated 13/4/2011 under section 306 IPC, which was got registered by respondent number 2 against the present petitioners on the basis of the compromise arrived at between the parties. The complainant is present in court along with her counsel. She filed her affidavit stating therein that the matter has been compromised and has no objection if the said FIR is quashed. Normally, this court would not have entertained the quashing of for an offence punishable under section 306 IPC. However, the facts and circumstances of the present case are somewhat different. Before proceeding further, it would be just and relevant to reproduce the aforesaid two sections 306 IPC, which is for abatement of suicide, where if any person commits suicide, whoever abets the commission of such suicide shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Further, section 107 is for abatement of thing, where a person abets the doing of a thing who firstly instigates any person to do that thing, or secondly engages with one or more other person or persons in any conspiracy for the doing of that thing, if an act or illegal omission takes place in pursuance of that conspiracy and in order to the doing of that thing, or thirdly intentionally aids by any act or illegal commission of doing that thing. A person who by willful misrepresentation or by willful concealment of a material fact which he is bound to disclose voluntarily causes or procures or attempts to cause or procure a thing to be done is said to instigate the doing of that thing. There is no instigation, no intentional aid or illegal omission on the part of the petitioners in the case in hand. Keeping in view the above noted interpretation of the abatement instant is a case, none of the provisions of section 107 IPC which could further make out a case under section 306 IPC have been attracted in the case in hand. The prosecution, however, heavily relies on the clause thirdly of section 107 IPC because according to the prosecution, the appellant by way of harassment and torturing the deceased at various points of time and by marrying said Anita for the second time without the permission and against the will of the deceased, intentionally aided and commission of suicide by the deceased, the perpetration of physical torture on the deceased on the day prior to the date of the incident which led the deceased to commit suicide is the prosecution case all throughout. It is nowhere the case of the prosecution that the appellant had played any active role either in instigating or aiding the commission of suicide by the deceased for denying to accept Anita as the wife of the appellant. Anita, the second wife of the appellant, was brought by the appellant to his house about 3 months prior to the date of the incident of suicide by the deceased, and therefore bringing of the second wife to the house by the appellant cannot be said to have either incited or facilitated the commission of suicide by the deceased. It is also not the case of the prosecution as disclosed from the evidence led, which we have scrutinized very minutely. The aforesaid contention, in our considered opinion, is far-fetched and is not established by the facts of the present case. After carefully assessing the evidence on record, we find that there is no direct evidence to show that the appellant had, by his acts, instigated or provoked the deceased to commit suicide. We need to emphasize that it is perhaps advisable that in disputes where the question involved is of a purely personal nature, the court should ordinarily accept the terms of the compromise even in criminal proceedings as keeping the matter alive with no possibility of a result